I'm Grizzly Greg. Hit that thumbs up button. Drop a comment. Always smash that subscribe button. Thank you to my sponsor, Pandemic Performance. Check them out on Instagram, Facebook, and pandemicperformance.com for all your performance needs. Enjoy the video. Alright, I'm back with assembly. As you can see, I just set the cam. I was holding the cam chain up with my grippers here. And it's very important on Rhinos to make sure that your engine's at top dead center. So I don't know, I'm gonna take the camera off my little stand here. Okay, I'm back here. I don't know if you can see, if I get the camera right in there, you can see a notch in the aluminum case and a notch in there on the gear. So just above the notch on the gear, there's two other notches. You got to do the one that's below that. Them got to be lined up. That makes sure that your engine is in top dead center. When you're taking this apart, you can also know that this oil hole right here and this oil hole right here pointing up signify that it's also at top dead center. And then obviously when you put it back together, you got to do the same thing. And then there's also two alignment marks on the camshaft gear. If I can get the camera in there. I don't know if you can see that. One is right there, that little dot. And there's another dot. Right there. On the outside part of the gear. Right out here. Then gonna be parallel with the top of the head. So make sure you check that. And I'm good on that. So the next thing you do is stick a little sealant. Actually, no, I'm gonna do the cam chain tensioner next. That's what I'm gonna do. So stick around for that. So on these cam chain tensioners, you can read that little word right there. It says up. So that means it goes in just like that. The word up should be pointing up. And if you look down in there, you can see the little surface on the guide that the plunger is going to be pushing against. And I think this was the main problem with this whole engine. So I got my gasket right there. I'm going to stick that on here, stick that in the hole, put my two bolts in, and then turn where that little key is. I'm gonna take my screwdriver, turn it counterclockwise, and this thing pops out like a ratchet. It keeps tension on that chain. So I'm gonna put the camera down. Just kind of get that started. I'm gonna go grab my Allen. Do that. And I do that. Okay. Use a ratchet. Overdo it. I'm doing the normal 8 to 10 foot-pounds. This ain't a torque wrench, but after you wrench a while, you just kind of half-ass guess. So there you go. That's all good. And then we'll grab my little screwdriver. Then I'm going to stick it in here. And if everything goes the way it should, there. Kind of heard it kind of ratchet out. Hoping that's touching the cam chain. Yep, it took the slack out. It took the slack out, definitely, because it's putting a little pressure on the cam. So that's good. But I'm definitely going to get my boroscope and just kind of stick it in there and make sure that it's touching the guide properly. So I'm going to do that. I'll be back with you. So as you can see my boroscope, the cam chain tensioner is pressing against that guide just like it's supposed to be. So, I'm telling you, one of these things, borrowing this from my neighbor, I might have to get me one. It's called an industrial endoscope, and it had some good reviews on Amazon, he said. So he ordered it. So I just test fitted my head here and fit perfect, but oil got all over this bottom lip. Well, I threw a little oil in here because that, you know, when I took this head off, you know, there was oil sitting here and oil sitting here, so I figured I'd clean it out and get all the shards and scraps out and put fresh oil in. But I just stuck a paper towel in there and soaked up some of that so it doesn't overflow and get on my gasket surface here because I don't want to cause a leak. But, and I guess now we're just gonna get the red RTV out, which I got right here. This is what I always use. I've used it for years, and it doesn't say use a lot. Just kind of dab it on. So I'm gonna grab a nail and just kind of put a thin line all the way around it. So as you can see, that's my light. It's my light line. Just to let you guys know, I'm not a mechanic. I don't do this for a living. I do this out of trial and error, and I've come just to gain knowledge and experience over the years. So the book tells me just to use a little bit. That's all I'm doing. So, and I'm gonna take that and go set it on top of the cylinder head. I'm gonna take these bolts that are in here in the corresponding sections and move the bolts to where they need to go, and then torque them all down. All right, all the bolts are transferred and just snugged up finger tight with my extension and Allen. So I'm going to go ahead and take my handy dandy ratchet and tightening down the valve cover. If I remember right, crossing patterning to 10 NMs, 89 inch-pounds. Well, 10 NM, 18 NM is 13 foot-pounds, so 10 NM is probably going to be like 8 foot-pounds. So, I mean, 8 foot-pounds is like grabbing this and just snugging it. So, I mean, here I go again saying I'm not a mechanic and I'm just going to get it close. So, that's the way I do things, half-assed. If you don't like it, don't watch my videos. So, yeah, stay tuned. Okay, we're all hooked up. Make sure you get that oil line back on. This little oil pressure cap thing that goes on the end of the head, that's at the back side of the camshaft. Spark plug's back in. I always add a little dielectric grease. Get your covers all back on. Everything, I mean, it's going too good. I'm just kind of thinking something's going to go wrong here eventually. It's usually what happens to me. Alright, got that plate back on. Got the timing plug back in. Just a note, this plate don't have to come off, and that rotor does not have to come off this hub right here. You can get that plug out and get it timed to top dead center without doing that. But I didn't know that, so I took some extra shit off. Double check the oil here. I think I'm going to be way high because I added too much oil. Yep, way high, but filter has to fill up. I think that oil level will go down. Got my bolt. All right, I'm back. Sorry, I had a bad battery that wasn't charging. I figured, heck, I'm gonna use it one last time and use it up and throw it away. So I got a different one. But we're basically down to putting fuel on here, and I think I still got, yep, okay, still got battery power. So I'm gonna hook the fuel up, and I think I'm just gonna triple check everything off camera and give her a crank, see what happens. All right, so got the fuel on. It comes with this little pump. I think that's kind of an aftermarket thing, but I got a bad battery, but I've had the charger on it for a little bit. I threw this CVT exhaust and this whole fan assembly back together just for kicks and giggles. So we're gonna try starting it up right now. This is gonna be the first time. This is actually a week or so later too, because I got sidetracked. So pull the choke. Baby. Yeah, it's gonna smoke a little bit because I started this thing up with a big hole in the top of the cylinder head and oil got over everything. Plug this battery charger. Put the hood down. I think I might just take her for a quick spin and see how it goes. Alright, we're in high. Success.